Hey ho, everybody. I don't know if you're going to be able to hear me or not. I'm going to put this mic over here, set it up. Hopefully you can hear. We'll soon find out if anyone can hear me. Because I'm doing this from my tablet. Oh my goodness, and my bra straps are showing. I'm a hot mess already, and I just went on 20 seconds ago. Isn't this great? All right, so I guess we'll see if anyone comes in. As you can tell by the title, yes, I have anxiety, and today is the day to just turn on the camera and start talking about it. Let's see if it works. I'll just wait a few minutes. Anyone comes in, because we all know YouTube doesn't have notifications and all that jazz. So we shall wait. We shall wait and see if there's anyone out there, anyone at all. Just let me know by saying hello or waving or. But for anyone coming in, I am Cauliflower, or this is my channel, Cauliflower. My name's not really Cauliflower, actually. I just go by Cauliflower because that's what I named this wonderful channel all those years ago when I started to enter the beauty world. Enter the beauty world. But since then, I have been opening up my channel to other areas, and today is one of those areas. Yeah, today is definitely one of those areas. So, a little background. I do have anxiety disorder. I also suffer from depression and stress, and who doesn't these days, especially in these times. So last night, or early this morning, I was awoken by something I haven't been awoken by quite some time, and that's a anxiety attack. And there was no real set reason, but it just woke me up. I thought it was due to I had tried this new energy drink at my gym, and it got me going, and it really worked very well for what I needed it for. But after about an hour later, it kind of like stuck around, or the effects stuck around. I don't really know. But all I know is by the time I got to, try to sleep, I mean, I fell asleep fine, but something woke me right up. And then when that happened, then I went into I won't call it panic attack, I'll call it more like the anxiety attack, because it was just like, it felt crappy and my heart went to start racing, and then but I kept telling myself, you're okay, you're okay, you're okay. And usually when I go into the you're okay, you're okay, you're okay, it gets worse, but it actually didn't get worse. So I don't know, but I seem to still have the effects of it right now. And I've been trying to do everything today to just get rid of it, but for some reason it just doesn't want to go away. So I decided, hey, why not just, have a live, and maybe others are out there, having the same issues as I am, dealing with anxiety, because of course we all know how, everything going on these days is nothing but anxiety triggers and warnings and all of that. So why don't we all just hang out together and talk about stuff that triggers us or gives us anxiety? Who knows? This might not work. I might be deleting this when it's over. I don't know, but I don't know if anyone can hear or anything. I'm turning this around a little bit just so you can see me better. I don't know if this is working though. So of course nobody's in here to tell me differently. So yeah. It's been crazy in the community, in the YouTube community itself, and I've been staying out of it for the most part. I've been trying not to really make any more videos or add more to what's already flooding out, out in the interwebs out there, because, oh, hey, hi, Juan. I used to have a Mirror 3. Oh, isn't that nice? That's very nice. That figures. Well, we're going to remove that. We're gonna remove that. That was lovely. That figures. That figures. This is welcome to my lives. So anyhow, there's been a lot of videos being made, about everything and anything, and I just feel like I don't know, like trying to chime in on some of this stuff sometimes gets a little overwhelming, but I also feel like it's important for these smaller influencers to have a say as well. So I did make a video. Of course, it was always something to use to make that video. It was a get ready with me, and it was me saying, reacting to Shane Dawson's Twitter rant and rave, and yeah, that worked out really well for him. And ever since then, just more and more stuff has been coming out. We've had Tati's video. We've had just more Shane stuff coming out. We had Sanders Kennedy, don't get me started, and Jeffree Star being dropped by Morphe, which was a not so shocking to me. Not shocking at all, actually, if you really think about it. I kind of think the whole thing was gratuitous, but that's just me. So yeah, there's been a lot. And of course, everything going on in the world, everything going on with, the ongoing virus, Black Lives Matter, the protests, all of this stuff. It's just overwhelming. So if life isn't enough of a stress trigger or, anxiety giver, then definitely the world we live in is. And so I don't know. So pick your poison on what could have caused it today. I don't know. It's also stuff probably directly relating to my life in general. I'm at an uncertainty area in my life, as usual. But, some things have been going pretty decently. So I started about 2 months ago, I think back in May, maybe a little bit, maybe the end of April, around that time, beginning of May. I started and decided that I was going to go on a different eating lifestyle so I could lose weight, because the girl was not happy with herself last year, was not happy with herself the year prior to that, and a lot of it, again, was stress induced. Normally with stress, I end up losing weight, but for some reason in the last 2 years, I ended up gaining. And I think it was hormonal changes and things of that nature, because once you hit a certain, age, there's that plateau of stuff. So I decided on a lot of research and a lot of, inter battles with myself to go on the keto lifestyle. And I have to say that since I have, physically, in certain aspects, I have seen a lot of really good results with it. And as a result of it being just shy of 2 months, maybe a little bit over that, as of yesterday, I have discovered I've lost 6 pounds. So I know it's a tiny little nothing of an accomplishment, but it's a big thing to me, because it means I'm actually doing something right. It means I'm actually doing something right in my life. Trying to take charge and trying to do the self-care thing, because basically that's all we can really do at times like this. Some of us that are still not, back at work or what have you, the self-care thing has come in. So yeah, I started doing the keto diet, and it wasn't difficult. It was not difficult. I thought it would be, because I'm so used to eating carbs, and I'm not big for eating starches and a lot of that stuff, because I went gluten-free for a while. But I found with gluten-free, I was still getting the bloating, and I was still getting the discomfort, and I was still not feeling really healthy, and I was still obviously getting, I was still gaining. So when I made the decision to go keto and low carb, which eliminates all carbs, at this point, you can't eat bread, you can't eat pasta, you can't eat rice, grains, all the things I love, potatoes. I thought it was going to be difficult to do. I have to say, I actually do not miss it. I actually do not miss it, and it's amazing what happens when you tell your body that it no longer needs something. Your body goes, yes, I agree with you. And then you can just move on from there. And it has done at least in the physical capacity and somewhat in the mental capacity as well. It has done a world of good for me because, as I said before, when I went gluten free, when I was, just, hey, hi, pretty lady, my number one fan over there. I adore your comments, by the way. I really appreciate it. You have no idea sometimes. Hello, Hydra Warrior. Welcome. So, I have not been missing it, and honestly, the incorporating of more protein and the incorporating of like eating meat, because I was not a big meat eater. In fact, I don't know if you guys are aware, but for a while I went vegan, like full blown vegan for like 3 months, I think back in 2015. And what it ended up doing was I started to my hair started to thin out. I started to, yeah, I mean, I think I lost a little bit, but not really much. And it didn't, my body was like, nah, I don't think so. That's not going to work for you. Then, like I said, the gluten free, and that was okay, but my body's like, yeah, yeah, you're getting close, but you're not there yet. So now with the keto, I think I finally have it. I think I finally have gotten it to where my body's like, yes, finally, you're listening. So yeah, so my little weight loss journey is so far 6 pounds. I currently am about, uh-oh, are we frozen? Please don't freeze already. Gotta love when it freezes. Honestly, can't tell you how, see, here we go. A second that, I veer off into some other topic. We'll get back to the keto lifestyle thing in a minute, but I have to tell you that in the last couple of years of doing these videos or trying to stay, on the platform and trying to do, whatever I feel is important for, just to be inclusive, but also just for myself, it's been a very large struggle here on YouTube. Not only because of like what's been going on with policies and changes and things of that nature, but just what's personally been going on my channel. It's been very, very rough. And the last couple of months, I've been going through such gigs on my channel, and but I always seem to want to come back, and I always seem to want to make videos, and I always want to seem to make things that are not always the same way everybody else is making them. And so, when I do see a few comments here and there, I'm still like, you know what? There could be 3 comments on my videos, and that's okay, because at least somebody out there is listening. Somebody out there is still willing to hear my rambling and whatever else I'm doing. And I appreciate that, because it has not been easy. It's been a struggle for the last 5 years, actually. Just going through things in my own life and then trying to carry the YouTube channel and whatever else I'm handling or dealing with. That's always the mask I'm wearing. It's the reality. The reality is the mask I wear to my channel. You can't hide anything. I cannot hide anything that I go through. So basically, what you see is what you get. And a lot of the times I get it. Like, a lot of people don't know what to make of it. And, when I started the depression series, I was really worried and really scared that it was going to get too real and too much. And boy, after being here and seeing some of the videos and seeing the things I see on YouTube, no. But I just think that we're also just so pressed or hard pressed to really discuss like what we go through mentally. And I know there's, I'm not talking about, the bigger YouTubers that are like, I'm in a dark place and don't come for me. I'm talking about like what we actually do go through. I'm talking about like the reality of our lives, and being everyday people, and not just being on a platform with millions of people watching you, and you're having some kind of like, tiff with somebody, or, a company is dropping you from their line, or, like important stuff. So that's where I come in with all this, because it's real. It's a very real thing. I deal with it daily. I've, in my 40 years of my life, I've tried, all sorts of different types of ways of handling it, and some were good and some were not. So now I have found that being truthful and being honest and being 100% concurrent with yourself and your own self-reflection, like looking in your own mirror and saying, okay, what am I accountable for? What have I done? Is the way to go. And I know that sounds like it's like you're like, sure, preaching, sure, real easy for you to say, Choly, because you got this platform that you do that on, but it's not my platform. It's mainly what I do in my own life. And the last few months, I have been taking more time to devote to recovery. And a lot of people say, like, recovery is only for addicts, only for alcoholics and drug addicts and people on programs. And that's not true whatsoever. Um, Recovery is for anyone that needs to recover from something. And thank you for the like. Recovery is from anyone that has any struggle, anything they need to recover from. That can be anything: eating disorder, that could be PTSD, that could be, a chronic illness. It can be anything. It's not subject to just being an addict, although, yes, those principles are very important in addiction, but it can also be related to anything else that you're struggling with. And I was very fortunate to do some research online, and I did find a website finally, after I had been asking about support groups for people that are suffering with depression, anxiety, anything in relation for years. I've been asking, my therapist, my ex-therapists, and you'll get something suggested to you that's like so way out of your way that you can't, or like now where we are subjugated to our homes and we really can't go everywhere, or it's not available to us at the moment. So I was lucky enough, and I will put this after this live is over, I will put this in the comments. I think it's actually in my description. The website I'm talking about is called supportgroupscentral.com, and it is through a affiliation called the DBSA, which is Depression Bipolar Alliance. And it is wonderful, especially now. They are so gratuitous with offering help and offering support to just about anybody that needs it. And they have an entire website. You can go to that website, sign on, sign in, log in. It doesn't cost anything to sign up. And then there's a series of different topics. And depending on the topic, depending on whatever you're looking for, if you need support, like I said, with an eating disorder or PTSD, or even the current virus that's going on, I'm not going to say the name, there are groups for it. And these are support groups that are led by not therapists, but by peer supporters. Peer supporters who are basically people who are experienced and have been in the field, but they're not exactly licensed or not medically, not to sit there and give you like medical advice, but these are people that will give you support. And these are people that moderate these meetings. And it's so refreshing to see, because there are all walks of life: young, old, white, black, doesn't matter, what color, what race, what gender, doesn't matter, LGBTQ, anybody. If you are struggling with something, if you are having an issue, you can find a support group. And that's what I did. And when I first started, I was going full ham on this. I was going in for groups 3 times a day, because that's what I felt I needed. I was going 3 times a day. And then I developed like just like this routine where certain groups I felt more I was getting out of it, and certain ones I was just like, well, maybe that one's not for me. But it's always good to sit and listen, to get different perspectives, to get different feedback. And I'm so grateful that I did, because there are definitely a few groups that I definitely love to attend. I've grown to learn of some of the people that are there. I've got some acquaintances out of there, and the main thing out of this is that I found someone, a specific peer supporter that leads meetings that I do a one-on-one with, which you can also do, and I'll get to that in a second. But for somebody like me who does not currently have a active therapist, because let's face it, the last few years I have just been struggling in that area. I think it's, in my case, more conducive and more effective right now to have this peer supporter that I've been seeing once a week. And she's amazing. And we have an hour talk a week, just like you would if you go to therapy. I do pay for it, but it's not like a lot. It's like a base amount. It never goes from there. And you sit and you talk about anything you want. Anything you want, anything on your mind. It's not like, oh, so tell me how you feel about this and da 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 da. And no judgments, no preconceived, nothing. And to me, I think I get more out of that than I do in a normal therapy session, because I believe it matters that there are people that are educated in this particular field that don't have to dole out meds, that don't have to sit there and tell you what they think you should do based upon like 1 week, a couple of sessions, here and there, and then they don't see you for a month or what have you, or when they're available, or to fit you in their schedule. This is at your time, at your pace, and if you can, I would implore you to take advantage of this. And to do so, the name of the website is called Hey Peers, HEYPEERS.com. And you can find meetings on there, you can find a chat area on there, and you can find a peer supporter that you can one-on-one talk to. And in these last few months, I honestly do not know what I would have done. To be quite frank with you, I don't know what I would have done, because this is exactly what I needed at exactly the right time. And for that, I'm grateful, because as you know, if you followed me a long time, or if you haven't followed me, but if you've heard some of my lives that I've done hangout wise, girl's a mess. All right, girl's been a mess. Girl's been a mess, with herself, with relationships, with friends, with what have you. Girl's been a mess. And it's just, I'm not going to say that it fixed me or that it's all better, and because it's not, but it actually gave me more motivation to do more of the self work that I currently am doing. And I think that's why I chose to start with the internal, which is the self-care, internally eating better, exercising, getting on that regimen, getting better sleep, because I'll tell you, with the keto diet, you get better sleep. Wow. Except when, you have one of those nights of anxiety like I did last night. But, before all of this, in my life, I've done a lot of talking myself out of things. I've done a lot of just like, not for me. I'm not going to do this. Doesn't, it's not fitting in. Maybe I just don't fit in. I will talk myself out of so many different things. And I'm not saying that I still don't, because I do, but not as often as I used to. There are days where I'm like, I'm not going to go to a meeting. I really don't want to. I don't want to talk. And I'll say it out loud. Like, I don't want to talk. I don't want to, I don't want to be there. I don't want to be present. Again, and we'll talk about that too, because there are, this ain't all perfect. There are times I have some struggles, and we'll get there. But there are days I go in there, and sometimes I go with the intention of not saying a word, just sitting there and kind of just, letting whatever's got to get, in my brain get in there, or just listen to other people, or just support other people. And there are times, what am I saying? There are times, a lot of the time, I go in there and I'm supposed to be. Whether it's the topic, whether it's what somebody shares at the moment, whether it's, I don't know. It just is what I need at that moment. And I think that's what's important in recovery. You always gravitate to what is necessary instead of going to what you think you need. Oh, I need some instant gratification, or I need somebody to tell me this, or I need somebody to do this for me. No, there are other alternatives to that. There is the self-awareness, the looking at your behavior, what you are doing currently. always. I can hear. But yeah, so a lot of it has to do with taking like an inventory of yourself. And I know people hear that in recovery about taking inventory and being responsible for what you say and do, but it is really very important because I used to write, in a journal, or how this all started too is I used to have an online journal. It was one of those things where you could download the app and then you have like a live journal, and I had it for like 2 years. And I don't know what happened to all the content, but it just disappeared. So then I took out one of my old journals that I had started years ago, and I ripped out all the old pages and I put them away, and I focused on, okay, we're going to start over and we're going to just write. And I find that I do this, and the first time that I did it, I wrote so much that I wrote from probably 10, no, earlier that night till almost 3 in the morning, that my arm felt like it was going to fall off. And I knew that that is exactly how I could articulate what my mind was doing at that point, like the things that were going through my head. I'm like, wow, I need to say this and say this and say this. And sometimes you don't know how to speak those words, so it's so much better to just write it down. So that's been my guideline. Like I will just keep that journal right by my bed, the foot of my bed. And when I've got something going on, anything, doesn't matter what it is, doesn't matter what kind of mood, doesn't matter what kind of stage of the game I'm at, that book comes out and I'm and I don't go back and read it. That was the mistake I made in the past, was going back and reading everything I wrote, because then I'm like, oh God, this is depressing. I'm not doing this anymore. And I talk myself out of it. This holds me accountable, but it doesn't remind me of every negative thing I've said and done or thought. And that's something I do on my own. Why did you do this? Why did you say this? Why did you act like this? This is holding me now physically accountable, black and white. Now I can, it's there, it's in this, and that book is holding me accountable. I don't need to constantly remind myself. So that became one of the tools that I used in my recovery, is the writing. And the other one is, of course, the attending the meetings, and the peer support, and the self-care. The self-care has been a very big thing, and I think it ties into that, because the more I do that, the more I'm more motivated to do the other stuff, because if I'm not feeling physically there, then mentally, forget that. That's not going to happen. And it sounds like this is all such preachy things. It's like, yeah, sure, Choly, it's so easy to say. It's so easy to say. It's not. When I come on here, I am one of those people that struggles every day. I'm struggling now badly, horribly at the moment, because I didn't know what else to do with myself. And yeah, I could have done what I normally did. I did write, I did exercise, I did, eat something. This is like just sitting here and it's not going away. And I'm hoping that it will, but sometimes it's just that I need to do what I do, and it's this. And again, there could be people that relate, there could be people that don't relate, there could be people that'll watch this later that'll relate, and that is why I continue. Because quite frankly, let's talk about 2 words that I have an issue with. And I'm taking my glasses off for this. Self-worth. Anybody out there ever have an issue of how they feel about themselves? Just raise their hand. And how you feel about your worth, just in general. Right here, first one, first hands up, first hands up. Anybody else want to raise their hand? Go right ahead. No judgment. Those 2 words are probably the most difficult in my English language. Self-worth. Because I can talk a good talk about that, I'm great at absorbing all the information and taking it in and going, yeah, it makes sense, and even applying it. I do apply these things. But then there are days that I'm like, nope, Nope. And I have another meeting. I call it like a little like a workshop because it's not just a meeting, it's a workshop on Saturday mornings with this amazing supporter, peer supporter, who does this like writing yourself happy, it started out to be. And then every week it's been a different kind of like topic. But again, it's like writing to get to the point of what you need to get to. Like we get certain keynotes or bullet notes and how we feel about that. And this weekend was self worth and self talk. And oh boy, I gotta take a drink of water on that. Self talk. I can tell you without a shadow of doubt what my self talk is like. It ain't good. 9 times out of 10, no matter how much this says, this is saying something else. This is saying conversations that I don't even know why I'm having at that point. But this is saying something else. This is just fighting the battle, and this up here is just creating the battle. It's always going to try to defeat you while you're trying to work it out. I've now discovered while you're trying to work it out, there's always that defeatist attitude that is going to be ringing in your ears saying, nah, you're not going to be able to do this. Nah, you're not, no one's going to care about how you feel. And why would anyone give a crap about, how you express yourself or what you're doing with yourself or any of this shit? Why? Why does anyone think about you? That's my self-talk. And it's funny when you're called out on it from other people that don't even know you, These are, well, they're not strangers to me. I mean, I love them deeply, but people that don't know you in your everyday life. And they're calling you out on this. They're saying, so how do you talk to yourself? And what do you say? Not very nice things, I'll tell you that much, especially when I'm in my own head. And again, I have prejudged others in their specific diagnosis where I'll say the same thing when I hear it being, said to me. Like if I hear somebody putting themselves down or they say they hate themselves and I'm like, nope, we're not going to go there. We're not going to have you go down that train of thought. We're not going to sit in that train of thought because that train of thought is only going to lead one place, and that means crashing. That train ain't going anywhere. There's no destination but crashing. So let's not do that. But I'm good at supporting it. Am I good at living it? No, I am not. And because, we're taught that we have to be responsible for our actions and our thoughts, and that we all are alone in this world, and we have to take that on. And that can take somebody who's going through something and really make them feel even more alone, even more isolated, even more like, well, we're going to die alone anyway, so what's the difference? And that's what we condition ourselves with. That's what we condition ourselves. Well, we're going to die alone, and people don't really care until you're dead and gone, blah, 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 whatever. And it's not what we should be telling ourselves, because we were put here for a reason. And so many people remind us of that reason, that if it's not us reminding ourselves, because Lord knows we don't ever remind ourselves of anything but the negative, but other people do. Other people remind you. And that's parents and children and coworkers and friends and lovers and relationships and the person you helped across your way, your neighbor, the person you held the door for, the person you offered change to if they needed it. That matters to them. That mattered to them because you're living and breathing. You did that. And maybe you're not going to account yourself for it, but they are. So that mattered to them. I wish I could live that. I wish I could live that every day. That I'm able to say this to you, my audience. I'm able to say it to people struggling, but I'm not able to say it to myself, because in my head, I'm like, nobody cares. Like right now, I know that there's people watching. Hey, I can't. Oh, hello, Ali. I know people are watching. I also, in my head, I'm thinking, they're not going to get it. They're not going to get it. They're not going to care. It's not going to matter. You're in a very small little area on YouTube. You've dropped subscribers like there's nobody's business over the years. You don't make content people come and see anymore. These are the things I hear in my head, regardless of everything I'm telling you. So when I say I'm struggling, we are struggling. We, the collective person here, is struggling. So there are days that I'm like, I need some sort of, I don't know, I guess acknowledgement or reciprocation that what I'm doing, how I'm doing it is good, like it could feel good for me one day and then I could be happy about it and then something happens and I'm like, nope, can't be. Nope, 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 not supposed to be. Like yesterday when I got on that scale and I'm like, oh yay, lost 6 pounds. Wow, I'm really doing something good. And went to the gym and started working out and felt really good. And the second I got out of that gym and we went to go get some, we went to go put laundry, did laundry and all that stuff, I started to feel like something's coming on. And I'm like, what is this now? And lo and behold, by the end of the night, well, not the end of the night, but by the early morning, when I woke up at 4 in the morning and had that little anxiety issue, it was like, see, not supposed to cheer, not supposed to have a moment where you're patting yourself in the back, because that ain't allowed. Remember, it ain't allowed. Because there's always something right behind it. There's always another challenge you're gonna have to step over. Okay, great, you hit that one. Now the next one. I can't get a day. I can't get a save to save my life. I cannot get a moment of like, okay, enjoy this moment. Nope, nope, nope. Nope, that's not allowed. And that, I think, is the work. The work never ends. It's constant, it's consistent, it's always reminding you, yes, you made this, but you gotta go further. You gotta go further. You gotta, you know, yeah, yeah, definitely when you do not, if you do nothing, that's another cause for anxiety. I should be doing something. I should be doing something. Yeah, it is constant work. That's very true. And that's the reminder that even though we can hit those little, steps along the way, and those steps are important, they're very important, there's always more. Because look at all the damage. Look at all the damage that has been caused in our lives. And I'm not saying self-damage, I'm saying stuff that's happened. Because it doesn't start from nowhere. It starts from somewhere. There's always a foundation, there's always a where it came from. That's the work you need to do, where it all started. And some of us don't want to go down there, but you know what? If you're not willing to go down there, you're not willing to get up here. That's how I see it. If you can't come down, you're never going to go up. Yeah, that's true too. And I think a lot of people that are like myself feel the same way, that you need something has got to give you something to go on, so you're thinking elsewhere, not thinking on the things you should be thinking about. And I have been one of those people that will get angry at other people for doing that. Like, yeah, that's great that you're doing that, but you're not doing what you should be doing. And that's not my journey, it's theirs, but it's kind of hard, especially when you care about somebody, when you see that they are doing the wrong thing and they keep going the wrong way, and you just want to go, that ain't the right way. And you tell them that, but they're going to go that way anyway because they're so like conditioned to do the same things. And I was that way too. Let's face it, I was always conditioned to do the same, no matter what people were telling me in my ear. Yeah, sure. Of course, and then, nope, I know better. Do I? Do I? Because has that worked? No, I wouldn't be here. I would not be on my platform talking about this yet again. I would not be saying that there is a recovery for everybody in anything if I wasn't living proof of that. I'd be a hypocrite if I sat here and said that, I did everything that was told to me. I didn't. I didn't listen. My dad was always telling me stuff, and you don't need this and you have the answers. And I'm like, what do you mean I have the answers? No, I don't have the answers. If I had the answers, I wouldn't be in this position. But he's right. He was right. So, you know, I'm always hitting this mic, sorry. Yes. And I'm not saying, listen, I'm not a doctor. I'm not somebody that's in the psychological field. So I am only giving you an opinion. But if you feel that you're going to a therapist that's going to give you all of these, and I'm not saying therapy doesn't help, because of course it does. If you get the right therapist and if it clicks and it works, mazel tov. You know what I'm saying? Great. But bottom line is, the way that they talk to you, they're looking for you to come to that realization of your own solutions, instead of them saying to you, this is what I think you should do. Because how would they know? How would they know what's going to work for you? They're not you. They don't know your life outside of what you're telling them. And you're not really telling them everything. Let's be honest here. We tell them maybe about, I don't know, I'll give it a round number of saying 40% of it. We're not talking from the perspectives of others. The others aren't there to give their perspective. So we can only tell them what we think the other perspective is. So there's that. So we're not giving them 100%. We're not telling them everything they need to know. We're giving them just like a little bit of like just a layer, a little layer of what we are. But above that, nope. So the things that they can teach you, the things that they can tell you, there are methods, there are tools, there are things that you can implement. But what they all come down to is basically making you still responsible, aware, mindful, and accountable for your actions and your behavior. Pin, point, blank. That's it. There is no snap your finger and it's all done. There is no pill. No pill, as much as they can help chemically, as much as they can thwart off some really intense symptoms. And I do believe that does work too for the people that it works for. In my life, it did not, but it's a combination. No one thing is going to fix it all. It's got to be everything. It's got to be your physical, it's got to be your internal, it's got to be your ethical. That rings true too. Your interrelations, your everything. It encompasses everything. Because how does a car run? Does a car run if the motor isn't running? Does the car run if there's not enough gas? It might run for a little bit, but eventually it's going to kaput, right? That's true too. And I can attest, again, I can attest to that too. Not all the time. My favorite song, and I've said this, that this is going to be my it should be on my inscription. I still haven't found what I'm looking for, because that's the person or the spirit, not the person. The person is me. I'm right here. The spirit I invoke. I have that spirit that still doesn't know what the hell they want or what the hell they're doing here. But the person is trying to just, do the things that people do while they're here. The spirit, that's a whole other video. But yeah, we're always constantly fighting with, we don't know who we are. And that's why we try things. That's what I'm saying. It's like, of course, in therapy, in recovery, you try different things. I try different meetings. I meet with different people. I talk to different people. I try different methods. Some will work, some won't, but at least try them. You're very quick to try that drink when you want it. Oh, that drink right there, that's going to make me feel better. Let me try that. Oh, that drug over there. Yeah, I'm gonna chill out. I'm gonna smoke a few blunts, blah blah blah. I'm gonna take a few hits. I'm gonna try vaping. I'm gonna try a cigarette. You're easy to do that, but when it comes to trying different tools and methods and mechanisms to fix what needs to be fixed permanently within yourself, better than you have been, nope. I need something else that's gonna gratify that. Hasn't worked yet. Hasn't worked yet. And I mean, listen, I don't like to preach. I sound like I'm preaching, but I don't like to preach. But the reason I even say these things as strongly and as effectively as I do is because I realize them as I'm going along as well. This isn't just, oh, Dawn is sitting up here preaching again. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Me and my bun today, my, I mean, I am wearing makeup. I actually managed to do that, but I'm not sitting up here preaching like girls got it together. I don't. I don't. But I'm learning so much more as I offer it to you, as I offer it when I speak about what I'm going through, as I offer it to other people that I'll, share with to try to offer support. It's like, wow, something must be given here. Something must be working. Something must be in there actually shaking that brain around, making it possible for me to actually understand what the hell is going on here and not pull back the reins all the time and judge, because I've done a lot of that, especially myself. I judged myself to no end, to an end that other people found impossible to listen to, and I don't blame them. That's true too, but I'm gonna get on that topic. The helping other people. I will admit, because I am an, here we go, I am an empath as well, but I have learned the hard way as an empath. I think I was talking to two fellow empaths in my group, and they said that there are limits. There are limits. There are times that, you won't understand it, but you will physically get affected. That those limits have been reached. And sometimes I don't. Sometimes I dismiss it. I'm like, oh man, maybe that's why. I could be sitting here, maybe I'm at my capacity because I'm so drawn in, or so like feeling things, and sometimes I don't decipher the differences, or I don't speak what I'm listening to, I react to what I'm listening to. Bottom line. Oh, you're gonna go there? We're not having that today. But I'm still internally taking it in. And I hate that people know that, because they're like, and don't you blame yourself, and don't you blame yourself. Well, what the fuck do you think I'm gonna do? That's my job. I blame. I take it on. I take it in. Regardless if I'm angry, if I'm right, if I'm in the right, oh man, I'm still questioning. I'm still like, should I have said that? Yeah, because why doesn't it matter on both ends? Yes, I'm listening to you. I know that you're going through stuff and I understand you, but there are two sides to everything here. And you cannot have a workable relationship with anybody if they can't see that. So I'm going to say this. If you are in any kind of a situation where there's a person who wants this from you, like, I need you, and can you be there for me, and understand I'm going through this, and they vent and they rant and they rave, but they won't do that shit for you, no, time to put the stop sign up. Excuse me, other person here. I understand that you're going through this, but guess what? I've been doing this for you. I've been here. I'm listening. I'm present. They are exhausting. They are, I don't mean to point, they are exhausting. But hello, there's another person. There's another person. And that person's always me. I am always fighting my battle in that area. With everybody. Some in particular, but yeah, with everybody. It's like, whoa. It's okay, because yeah, I'm going to offer to you that you're not alone, and I care about you and everything else. But at the same time, I'm not Hercules. I am not the grand all of strength here that I could just take it on and not be affected at some point in my life, in a week, in a day even. I'm affected, whether it's physically, mentally. Most of the times it's those two. It's physically or mentally. Spiritually too. There are times, all right. It all affects you. You don't think so. You don't think about this stuff. You don't think that anything mentally can affect you physically, but it all does. Your brain isn't functioning or it's sending the wrong signals down to the body. The body's going to be like, oh, guess this isn't good. Doesn't that make sense in every capacity? So, how do you think you're going to function if this isn't functioning properly? Because this ain't functioning properly either. By it ain't. Because it's listening to this. No matter how good the intention, no matter how good the person, no matter how wonderful you are, don't matter. Doesn't matter. Because we're not just a one mechanism running thing. We're not. We don't run on just one thing alone. We run on everything. Everything that interconnects. That's how you fully interconnects. Or else, air, no. And if the air is polluted, we're choking. Water, no. Water is dirty, we're dying. Doesn't that make sense? And it's all very blunt and all very but I can't be anything else. I can't sit here and sugarcoat it and say this, that, and the other thing. That's the way it's been for me. I can't. But I can definitely identify, because as the empath, it's a lot. And people are exhausting. I'm exhausting. There are days I'm like, oh, for the love of Christ, just get out of it. I'll tell myself that, oh my God, really? Really? Really gonna go there? You're really gonna be this way? What? I will be in an argument with somebody going, why are you saying this? Why are you talking like this? I'm just saying to you, it's all part of the process. It really is. There's not anything that's not relative, or that doesn't, outside of the negative stuff, the negative talk, the listening to stuff, the absorbing all the crap we see on a daily basis, the shit on social media, that's one thing. That can all be goodbye. No, I'm saying we are not perfect beings. We're never going to be perfect beings. So why do we push ourselves to be? We just want to be what's comfortable, what's doable, what we can get through, what we can do, what we can be in. We want to push ourselves to, and we want to see how great we can end up being. We just don't understand exactly what that is all the time. Sometimes we choose the wrong things. We're like, oh, I'm good at that, so that must be what it is. No. It's yet to be revealed. And I think that's the still of where I'm at. Yet to be revealed. Yet to be revealed. Y-T B-R. Yet to be revealed. Like I said, I don't come to these thoughts. I don't sit here with a script. There is nothing in front of me except the mic. I don't have this, woo, this is all. It's a train of thought. It's just a run on. You guys, I care about how people function, and I care about how people handle themselves toward me, around me, and especially to themselves. Because it's hard to listen to other people. It's hard to listen to what they go through. And then you sit there and you go, oh man, I've got no problems. Look, this one's got, physical ailments and, people that they've lost in their lives and lost their possessions and lost everything. And you're sitting there complaining about it. An anxiety attack, what's the matter with you? But it's all relative. That's how we get ourselves into the negative self-talk, because we're telling ourselves we don't matter. Somebody else's problems are always going to be bigger than ours, no matter where we are. Somebody else's problems are always going to be bigger, worse, in a dire more of a circumstance. The only thing we can do is be empathetic, offer support, or offer just to kind of back away and say, listen, I don't need to flood that person any more than they already are, because they've already heard this. That's how I feel about my channel with just the stuff that's being discussed. It's being discussed so much now. What's the point? Why am I going to say, oh, this is happening? Everybody knows it's happening if you pay attention. If you're not, then it's like, why are you opening this can of worms up? And why are you saying this? And you're that, this, that, and the other thing. We have allowed ourselves to be judged every 5 seconds on YouTube. That's the way it is. It's like the moment you open your mouth, you're open for judgment. Well, who are you? I don't know, buddy. Just been here 10 years, but I'm okay. I'm over here. I chose to be in a community that I thought was like, wow, I'm somebody that looked at this community and was like, I really would like to be a part of that because I love makeup, I love skincare, I love this, that, and the other thing, but it's not about that. It's not about that. It is in smaller capacities. There are people that do care about that. I'm not saying this is the whole community. I'm not going Wayne Goss here, but when you see an audience gravitate to the bigger because they're more illuminating, they're more shiny, they're more fun, they're more, wow, look at this, they have this, that, and the other thing, I want that, I want to attain that, I want to get that too. That's what you gravitate towards. And that is what you have to take responsibility for at the end of the day. Because it ain't just them. They have bad behavior, yes. Guess who's watching them? We're just as responsible as they are. It's funny how we want apologies. We want them to take accountability. We want them to be like, I did this in my past. But when we are called upon, and I know I've been, we don't want to go there. We don't want to apologize. Well, why should we? They've offended more people. You're part of that. Not everybody, but the ones that chose to, I'm not saying everybody in an audience, because everybody has an ability to give some part of a problem here. They're interjecting a problem here. It goes for a lot of things, not just people on YouTube. It goes for people we watch in the movies, on television, radio, newspapers, our fucking government. Come on now. He didn't get there on his own. We hold some accountability there. Our responsibility is to be the ones that choose what we think is right. And some of us choose very well and some of us don't. And when we don't, we have to make decisions ourselves, not rely on them. They have to apologize before I can. No. This is true. Yes, I agree with that. No, they have to apologize for themselves, to themselves. And yes, to a point, they do owe that to an audience. But we, as the audience, are people too. We fuck up too. Could you take that if it was turned around and 1 billion people were yelling at you for your past or telling you did this, that, and the other thing and you're a piece of shit now and you're never going to be accepted back and you're canceled? I mean, could you take that? I don't think so. I'm not excusing bad behavior, please, but it's also the allotment of the platform. Exactly. It is. Just like we don't like the way they handle their lives, but they're handling it the way they choose to see fit because that's what works for them. We don't like it. We demand an apology. We demand an explanation. Who are we? Outside of being their audience, yes. But come on, when you leave a movie theater, are you always asked on the way out, what could have been done better? What do you think they should do better? No, you leave. And that's your experience. You paid for the experience. You watched the movie. You either hated it or loved it. You take it back with you. You either continue to support that person, that movie, that company that does it, the director, whatever, that art, or you don't. There is no display of they need to apologize for this or they need to do that or they in order for me to continue. That's your choice at the end of the day. We all have choices at the end of the day. It's either you watch them, you don't watch them. You vote for them, you don't vote for them because your actions speak louder than your words do. That's for damn sure. You drop them from a company or you keep them on for whatever reason. Or you use that product because it's a good product. Okay. Does everybody need to know about it? No, fuck you. Is this going to offend somebody? Probably. Why did I buy it? Because I wanted it at the time. Am I mad at the 2 people that created it? Yes, I am. Do I think they owe me their livelihood? No, I don't. All right. Yes, I gave to that because I wanted the product. I'm not buying their morals. I'm not buying their person. I'm not buying into what they do, what they represent. Because if that was the case, we'd have no products. Okay? Let's be honest here. Oh, iPhone, Apple. Wasn't Apple bad at one time? Apple's doing this, that, and the other thing. Terrible, terrible company. Oh, Nestle. Horrible. I know it's simplifying it. Yes, sometimes. I'm simplifying it, but really, that's what the takeaway at the end of the day is. There's always a choice. There's always a choice in behaviors and things of that nature. And yes, we all have to be accountable, and they have to be accountable. They have to be accountable on their own, not because we say so. Because if we keep saying so, like you have to apologize, you have to, and they apologize, and we don't like the apology, well, then what? Then what? That's not being accountable. That's not being accountable in your eyes. Some people will accept that apology, some won't. Isn't that, at the end of the day, the choices we make? I may or may not support certain YouTubers anymore. I may or may not speak about certain people on my channel anymore. I may. That's up to me. That's my personal accountability. I choose to do what makes me feel good at the moment sometimes, and sometimes I look at it later and I go, maybe that's not what I need in my life, and I'll get rid of it when I'm ready to. Not because a majority of people are coming after me saying, wow, you're a racist, wow, you're supporting this, that, and the other thing. No. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Lived too many years of this life to understand that that's not true. Because why are we as people being represented by companies, products, even our music choices? Right away, you listen to this, so you must be a devil worshiper. You listen to this, so you must be burning crosses somewhere. Like, no, it's just something I enjoy. It's just part. It's not the whole person. And everything has an interpretation. Some things are interpreted the way they're meant to be, and some things aren't. Some things are categorically just flat out not right, according to us, and some things, maybe to other people, they find that it's necessary. I don't know. We live in a very complicated world. Nobody is ever happy 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Nobody. Nobody's ever going to be satisfied with everything that there is out there. That's why the beauty of choice is there. You can either do it or not do it, live with it or live without it. That's the responsibility. They're relative to what works and what doesn't work. There are people that don't work in my life that nope. That could be personal, YouTubers, movie stars, music people, bye. But if I have to come to that realization on my own, just like everybody else, we try to teach things to our kids. I say the same thing about, there are certain things that you don't want to have conversations about because they're a matter of choice down the line. Religion, politics. We can guide a path, but ultimately they make those decisions. We may agree or disagree, but it doesn't mean as people we hate them because of that. It depends on the choice of path. If you choose to do the wrong thing, that's what you're going to get. You choose to do the right thing, that's what you're going to get. You choose to go in the middle. That makes sense for you? Fine. Go. Do it. But be accountable for it. And that's my lesson today. I know this gets so serious, and then you guys just let me just I don't do these often, and I like that. Yes, it's also strength to have the courage to let the things that not make us feel good, even if a lot of people like it. Exactly. There's a lot of people that like people out there that I have no thank you. And then there are some people I've changed my mind about. I will say that I judged along, you get that mob mentality. You get that like, cancel culture, cancel this one, can't. You get there. You get there because you understand why people feel that way for the moment or the period of time it's happening. You're like, oh man, come on now, really? That's or there are personal things that you know. Nope. But we all come to some realization somewhere down the line. We can listen to a million people tell us who's bad for us. Until we come to that realization, we're gonna convince ourselves that they're not. I've done it. I've done it. I've been in really bad situations where I'm like, oh, if he sees this, if he sees it, I'm putting myself out there and I'm trying to love him as best as I can, and he won't hurt me anymore. Wrong. Don't do the same thing and expect different results. But that's the name of the game, you know what I'm saying? So I'm getting too serious. I don't like it. I don't like it. Get too serious. But I will say that my anxiety just went down. So maybe that's, again, see, right place, right time, right what you need to be doing. Sometimes it could be putting a messy bun up, doing subpar makeup, putting your glasses on and talking to people. The modern society tells us that there is one way to be happy is owning and buying, but every person has to be made to make their own choice to be happy. Nobody should dictate to us what to do. I couldn't have said that better myself. Absolutely. There are people that are happy with nothing. There are people that have learned to adapt to their surroundings and are fine with that. And there's nothing wrong with that. I grew up from that. I didn't have my own room as a child. I had to share a bedroom. I had a bed that had coils sticking in my back till I was 18 years old. I didn't have prom. I didn't go to prom. Didn't have a limo. Didn't have a lot of things. But the things I did, the things I was able to do, just like in my neighborhood, take some of my younger friends to McDonald's one day, hang out in front of my building, and we play with our toys, our dolls, our games, whatever we were doing, make believe, run around, play in the water, or discover worms or whatever it was. Those things were like, wow, I got by. It was my education. I had fun. I enjoyed it. I'm the same as an adult. Doesn't matter if I have all this makeup around me. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. All that stuff is just, yeah, we get indulgent. We get we love something, we get into it. That's how I am. But is that making me happy? No. No, it's not. Yeah, that's true too. Some of us do. I used to. I don't. I try not to. Every now and again, glass of wine here, but it affects me differently now since I've been on the keto diet. It's like boom, one glass, and I can't indulge that way anymore. I used to think that having the latest phone, the best phone. If I have a better phone, then I can do better content, then I can do this, that, and the other thing. Not necessarily. Because there's always something more. You have to upgrade. You have to buy more. Oh, I bought a ring light. Then it's the editing software. Then it's the cameras. And I fell into that for a while. Like, what for? What for? My audience, if they give a damn about me, if they give a damn about my content, they ain't looking to see what kind of freaking. Yes, it's cool to keep with the times and an update, and I do like that. I will admit that. But is it possible all the time? No. No. Not at all. I'm not one of those people. I mean, yeah, do I like to have different looks and do different things and wear different things? Yeah, but I want to do it my way. I'm not looking to go on, like all these, crazy places where these people buy, thousands of dollars of spending on bags and Birkins and Prada and whatever. Don't care. Don't care. Because if you're not gonna feel good about the inside, anything on the outside ain't gonna do it for you either. It's good to, kind of like show the world, look what I got, see what I got, but inside is a whole different story. And they can't see your insides unless you walk around the picture of it. Hey, look at this. Nah. Am I boring you yet? All right, so a few things on my channel currently. Yes, I did my first Empaths React video, which was the video before this, which I reacted to songs in my playlist, like just retro songs, songs that I had on my playlist for whatever reason. And I thought it was kind of fun to do because I'm watching all these React videos of people watching, certain bands and groups and singers for the first time and their reaction. I'm like, wow, that's great. I love seeing that. I love seeing, here you go. Want to talk about something that lifts me? I love seeing the youth of today discover the music I have loved all my life. And being like, wow, and being really intricate about it and researching it and like, wow, it makes me so proud and so happy that that exists. So then I'm like, you know what, I can do that in a different manner. I can react to it the way that it makes me feel and why it makes me feel this way. And then there are times that I'm gonna even try to, maybe do something new, maybe react to something I've never reacted to before. I'm looking for any kind of suggestion there. But I do want to do more of those types of reaction videos because I think it's more authentic. I think it's more like, wow, you see people's humanity that way. You see how people really, there's no script to that. You throw something on, you see it. There is no like, oh, let me watch this before and then I'll fake a reaction. Like, lame if you do it that way. But so that's on my channel. I the beauty stuff is still there. It's been there. It is what it is. The subscription services, the get ready with me's, the just the drugstore stuff, the higher end, all that is still there. It's always going to be there. That's always going to be a little chunk of my life. And what's interesting? What's interesting? No, it's interesting. And I want to do some related videos to my keto lifestyle. I don't know how I'm going to go about it because I have some channels that I watch that I'm going to probably do a separate video on. I'm going to go back to shouting at channels. Oh, yeah, it is important. That's why there's only 6 people here, because a lot of people don't like talking about this kind of stuff. You got to have like a dedicated video that people can watch for 10 minutes, but like, yeah, that was good. Bye, to the next. I want to do more shout outs that I used to do. I used to do small channel shout outs, but small channels are a thing of like, God only knows what. I want to do channel shout outs that I specifically like, that I love, that I want to, just give a shout out. Hey, micro influencers shouting out the bigger influencers, who cares? So there's that. Yeah, I do have to apologize. I did say in a live not that long ago that I was going to be on a podcast, a live podcast, and I flaked on that. Like, it was just like, it just didn't feel right. It just didn't feel right. I just, made the decision that maybe this wasn't the right time. That's what I do nowadays. Like, I'm like, is this the right time? Is this the right, you'll know when it's the right time, and don't do something before it's you're ready to, or what have you, because then it won't be as, you won't be as productive, or you won't be as good, or whatever it is. I put it on halt. I feel bad to my friend that I did do that. I kind of feel bad I flaked on him and kind of just didn't really give him an explanation of why, but I just wasn't, it just wasn't there. The body was there, the brain was like, nah, not today. So we'll see. I mean, I don't know what the future holds. I'm not one of those people I cannot see into the future to let you know, but it's a terrible gypsy. Terrible, terrible. I apologize to gypsies out there. Sorry. But, yeah, so it's kind of just touch and go, but definitely more empathic videos and stuff of this nature, because this is the stuff that I connect to right now. It's the getting over those obstacles and those humps that we're constantly trying to on our journey. It's like, listen, I'm up here in a messy bun, sitting in a very hot room, subpar makeup, explaining, what I'm going through in my own recovery. And I want to be able to let people understand that it's doable, and that it's not, oh, I don't have the time for that, or, I'm busy, and you're too busy to fix yourself. Like, I don't understand that logic. That's one thing I'm going to say. I don't understand that logic. How could you be too busy to to fix the one thing that you need on a constant basis. I'm going to leave that out there. How can you be too busy on the one thing that you want to function for you, and you want to do all these things, and you want to be able to put your best foot forward? How are you going to be able to if you're not putting that car in when it needs an oil change? How's it going to run? So that's basically it. I rambled for over an hour. I was only going to do this for an hour. I've rambled over an hour. And I appreciate the 5 people that came out to listen. It's right where I need to be. And I just hope, like, in all of this, maybe somebody gets something out of it, or, you just have one of those days and you're feeling like, oh man, like, I don't know, anxiety's got the best of me and I don't really know what direction to go, or I'm just struggling with this, that, and the other thing. And, so am I. We're all doing it. We're all doing it together, even though we're not in the same room. We're right here, but we're not, together. But, there is somebody out there that is going through the gigs too, and, trying to do the research, the self-work, and it's got some great days and it's got some shitty days and it's got some days in between, like, but there's a reason to keep going. There is a reason to keep going, as I say that to myself. It's important to talk about this kind of stuff. It's illogical, or is it logical? A lot of illogical, that's for sure, but it is logical. And sometimes it doesn't even take the logic. You don't have to be a scholar. You don't have to be, so super, sometimes people say things to me and I'm like, you have no idea. I don't see myself as this intellect. I don't see myself as this, I have wisdom, blah, 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 beyond my years. Maybe when I was younger. No. No, it's just stuff that I've realized along the way, and you can do it too. But check out Support Group Central, check out Hey Peers, or anything that we forget that we should start with fixing ourselves and then thinking about doing other things. Exactly, that's what I say. Not everybody subscribes to that kind of knowledge, or that kind of a thought. They're like, no, I got to do this. And you know what? There's that too. There's the survival. I get that. Right. There's like that survival thing. I have that too. Gotta survive. But how am I surviving if I'm barely there? If I'm barely making it through. In crisis, you gotta survive. You gotta push through. You gotta just do it. Just fuck up. Do you want to just buck up? Does it always have to be a pushing? No, you want to be ready. You want to be sharp as a freaking knife. You want to be a jackrabbit. You want to go. You want to do it and stop being stopped by yourself. There's only one person that can stop you. You. That is my rants. All right. And yes, I am on Snapchat. There it is. My little Snapchat insignia. If y'all want to follow, I don't post all the time. In fact, I take myself off social media more than I post. And that's, again, that's part of my process too. There are times that social media just sucks the gut right out of me. I'm like, yeah, nah, not today. Not today, Satan, not today. But I do have active accounts on Instagram and Snapchat, Facebook, no, and YouTube. YouTube is, I'm knocking my mic over. YouTube is what you see here. If you haven't seen it, if you haven't subscribed to it, please do, because it's always nice to have an audience. It's always nice to talk to people and try to give them, some pearls, whether they, bury them for a rainy day, or they, wear them proudly. So I'm going to go, you guys. I really appreciate everybody that came in today and the future people that will watch this if they choose to watch this. And, it'd be nice to have a conversation again. If you have anything to say below, please be respectful and all that loveliness and all that jazz. But I'm going to leave you and take care of yourself, guys. Bye.